and under his careful supervision. He didn't come into this role declaring what a great special ed program Massapequa had. He asked how it could be better, and he took every step to make it better. In some cases, putting aside ego and going to other districts' programs and emulating them when it was appropriate. Over time, our program has become so strong that now other districts are emulating us in some of our outside-of-the-box ideas that Massapequa has. Just an example of this, we've joined other SEPTA pages, scouting for ideas on yearly speakers that would appeal to our parents. Every topic or speaker we looked into to have SEPTA host, we couldn't because the district already was having the topic covered as part of their workshop series, led by our transition coordinator, Grace Hussey. Oh, and speaking of Grace Hussey and the transition coordinator role, it was also created by Jordan McCaw, as he saw the need for it. We are very, very involved in the special education communities throughout Nassau, and a good portion of Suffolk. When we tell people that we have a transition coordinator, and our district hosts monthly workshops, and this year, a large transition fair as well, people are amazed. Some of his other notable accomplishments: full-day ICT in 2 elementary schools, Northwell Mental Health School Partnership, Birch Lane 1212 program providing support in the area for social emotional counseling and behavioral management, committees for sensory intervention, an inclusion workshop, and this year, an SEL or social emotional learning committee. Not to mention the expansions of Best Buddies and Challenger Sports. There is so much more that we could mention, but due to time constraints, and I will lose my voice if I keep screaming, I will hand it over to Deb.
Not long into his assignment, Dr. McCaw and the rest of the world were hit with a once-in-a-century worldwide pandemic. No disrespect to the wider population's troubles during this time period, but if this new but temporary normal was going to be inconvenient, challenging, and uncertain for children who learn typically, the lack of in-person instruction and therapies were going to be nothing short of devastating to our special needs population. As we were approaching late spring, there were rallies led by special needs parents all over New York, trying frantically to have extended school year, also known as summer session, open for our most delicate students return to school, some of whom performed earlier tonight. By Paul Messier in 1994, guaranteeing a Game 6 win against the Devils, Dr. McCaw declared, "If New York State releases guidelines for opening schools, you have my word, Massapequa will meet them and open." When the requirements to open were released, all but 3 school districts in Long Island read them and said, "Ain't no way in hell," and bowed out immediately. In July 2020, Massapequa School District Special Ed Department, led by Dr. Jordan McCaw, were one of the first to welcome their very brave teachers, TAs, and students back to school. Yes, I said it, brave. It's become very easy to forget now, but those were very scary, uncertain times, and our children were the first to test extremely uncertain waters. But I digress. That's a story for another award ceremony. This was not an easy responsibility for Dr. McCaw to take on, making sure legally all mandates were met and the personal worry of children and staff members remaining healthy. Also, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that it was also with much help and support from many others. Thankfully, it was a great summer and helped to offset any future further regressions. As for Jordan as a person, we don't know many people that would rush to the bedside of a parent who hasn't had a child in the district in over 40 years. When he first arrived at the hospital, Mrs. Festa was self-conscious of her appearance from her illness. True to his charming way, he not only put her at ease enough to allow him to stay, but she agreed to let him come back and visit her again. Sadly, she was so ill she passed away shortly afterwards. We can't imagine what a matter of pride it was for Marie to have had that visit. First, because you were representing a district she spent her life dedicated to, and she SEPTA. Your visit relayed her importance to all of us, and she deserved that for all she did with special education in Massapequa. But also, what comfort it must have brought her in the end, because she adored you like a son, and she considered you her friend, and she definitely deserved that act of love in her final days because of the person she was.
Maya Angelou said, "When people show you who you are, believe them." Thank you, Dr. McCall, for showing up every day and regularly showing us who you are. Please accept this award on behalf of the Council of PTAs, SEPTA, and the students and parents you proudly serve.